um pálido ponto azul na imensidão do universo? 8 bilhões de pessoas se acotovelando todos os dias? Montanhas, oceanos, praias e rios? Ou então diferentes culturas, experiências, conhecimento e oportunidades? Se esta é a sua resposta, bem-vindo a Grade Up.
Olá, tudo bem com você? Aqui quem fala é Leonardo Trench, diretor e fundador da Grade Up, uma empresa 100% brasileira que orienta e prepara alunos e profissionais de todo o Brasil para os mais diversos destinos e níveis de educação, incluindo programas de high school, programas de graduação integral, programas de graduação sanduíche, programas de mestrado, de MBA, e também alguns pesquisadores que já auxiliamos ao longo desses 10 anos, orientando, como eu disse, alunos de todo o Brasil. Hoje a gente tem mais um Grade Up Talks e, claro, com um grande convidado, participando hoje aqui conosco, o Liam Stott, International Officer, responsável pelo recrutamento de novos alunos para a Universidade de Bedfordshire. Instituição super moderna, super bem localizada, muito próximo do famoso aeroporto de Luton. E o Liam, claro, vai estar nos trazendo o que há de mais interessante na universidade, bem como os seus programas, as oportunidades de bolsas, os links que a instituição tem com o mundo corporativo, as oportunidades de estágio e, claro, tudo que existe de mais atualizado sobre os requisitos, tudo para que você possa tirar esse plano do papel. A ideia aqui é uma conversa, é um bate-papo, e por isso, ao longo aqui dessa transmissão, a gente vai estar, claro, sanando as dúvidas via WhatsApp, pelo próprio Instagram e aqui dentro do nosso canal. Eu vou conduzir essa conversa em inglês, mas, claro, toda a nossa equipe fica à disposição para ajudar você com qualquer dúvida, qualquer informação pertinente. E sempre lembrando, ainda é possível o ingresso em várias e prestigiadas universidades do Reino Unido. Grande destino e que sempre abraça de maneira muito calorosa todos os seus alunos e, em particular, os brasileiros, que são sempre muito bem recepcionados e, claro, contribuem muito para essa vida dentro de cada campus universitário. Liam, thank you very much. It is a pleasure to receive you. Obviously, you are planning a visit to Brazil next March, and Grade Up will be supporting you both in Rio and São Paulo, and of course in Curitiba. So it's a great pleasure. Very good to have the University of Bedfordshire with us here in these Grade Up Talks. Liam, can you share a little bit about your background and your role?
Yeah, of course. Thank you very much indeed, Leo. Greetings and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much indeed for coming on here today for this special webinar about the University of Bedfordshire. So my name is Liam Stott. I'm the International Regional Manager for the Americas at the University of Bedfordshire. So I cover obviously Brazil and other markets too in my role here. I'm currently based in the international office here at the Luton campus in the UK. You can tell because right behind me is obviously the office that I work in. So it's open plan office where we deal with all the admissions, all the recruitment, compliance, all the work we do to, make sure the students arrive here safely at the university. But yeah, I do a lot of work. I do travel quite a bit in my job. I look after recruitment from Middle East and South Asia as well. So quite busy, but I'm looking forward to coming to Brazil for the very first time next month and attending the events with BMI, and Grade Up are going to be there to support me as well. It's going to be my first visit, so it's going to be exciting to meet new students from all sorts of backgrounds and learning about their interests in going to the UK. So if you're listening today, I'm very grateful that that you're here, and I'm be happy to answer your questions. Thank you.
Fantastic. Earlier on, you mentioned that you had some background in teaching English.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. Yeah.
Leah.
Yeah,
For
of course.
thing, I'd like you to teach us, and
Yeah.
especially in our market in Brazil, where the UK is not really popular. So we need to learn a lot. Why Brazilian students should choose UK? What's different? What
Absolutely.
are advantages?
Well, I think first of all, Leo, it's about our practical curriculum. One of the things that distinguishes the UK from other countries like the US or maybe Canada, Australia, and indeed European countries is that our curriculum is focusing on practical skills. What we want to do in the UK is to ensure that any international graduate is ready for the world of work. In today's world, it's very, very competitive, and in quite a few countries, there's issues with employment, unemployment, or some of the graduates maybe aren't as ready for the first job because they haven't got the right set of skills. But if you go to the UK to study, you are going to be, learning your degree, not just through theory and doing exams, but you are going to be assessed practically as well. And that's one of the things that we do very well at the University of Bedfordshire. So that's the first thing I would say. The key message is practical curriculum and the way in which we help students learn those more softer skills that employers really are looking for. So things like teamwork skills or independence, research skills, problem solving and critical thinking skills, communication skills. These are the things that employers want. And in any UK degree, you'll be learning these skills. I think that's really important. And particularly for postgraduate students as well, which is the biggest market for the UK is postgraduate studies. They've done their bachelor's or the first degree in the home country, and then they want to go to the UK to do a master's. Well, the benefit of doing that is that they are going to be not only expanding knowledge, but developing their practical skills to succeed in developing their career, and having a wider set of skills that's going to make them more employable and help them be more successful, earn a higher salary, and gain more recognition as well. So that's really important for the students. So really the first thing is about practical education. Secondly, is the quality as well. We know that in Brazil, there's going to be competition with the US. It's just up there. It's just north of the border. It's up there. America's not too far away from you. There's obviously Canada as well. So North America as a territory, yes, there's big competition there. And obviously they would say, oh, well, we've got high quality as well. But I think what fits in nicely with that kind of the idea of quality for the UK is not just the quality, but the duration. So when you have quality education and shorter duration of studies, that makes the UK actually even more attractive as well. So traditionally in the UK, an undergraduate degree or a bachelor's takes 3 years to complete, right? Well, in America or in Australia, they'll be saying, oh, it takes 4 years to complete here. Oh, right, well, that's going to take longer, which means it's going to cost them more money on tuition. It's going to cost them more money on accommodation. So unless that student's got a lot of money to spend, and they might have, granted, but if they don't and they've got a budget plan, actually going to the UK is going to be financially more viable, more cost effective for the student. And for masters, it's a 1-year degree in the UK and 2 years in other countries. So again, it's going to be a lot more cost effective doing a master's in the UK, as opposed to doing it 2 years elsewhere. So I think the duration is important, the high quality of teaching and education and learning, and the practical curriculum. So I think for me, Leo, those are the 3 key reasons why a Brazilian student should look at the UK to study.
Fantastic. And I believe you mentioned one key point, and that was also my experience in the UK when I did my master's. It's the link with different companies, different organizations during your program. In the UK, it's quite popular internship during your undergrad. It's quite popular, the opportunity to go and study abroad. And some masters as well were all linked with this kind and level of employability. I remember during my master's, a company asked us in the program to solve a problem or to give more options for them to to solve that issue. And that was very practical. We used to go once a week in that company, talk to different people, and that kind of experience gave some of my colleagues as well the opportunity to stay and work. And that's quite popular, because here at the Grade Up, we do have a few students that took part in a summer program, in a summer course, in a summer internship, and now they still working in the UK after their program. So it's not impossible, Liam. And I believe Bedfordshire has those links as well.
We do, yeah, absolutely. So in total, we've got links with over 3,000 different organisations around the world to start off with. Secondly, particularly within our postgraduate business school, where that's a very popular school with our international students, where we have, I would say probably about 60-70% of our international students are on a business course, whether it's undergrad or postgrad. But we have 6 intakes per year on the postgraduate business courses. So September, November, January, March, June, and July. So every 6 weeks we have an entry point. And within the course structure itself, so take, for example, MSc in marketing, which I did. So I'm actually a graduate of the university as well. That was in 2018. So I did the 1-year masters. I was in the January cohort, and the way in which you structure the course is not by semesters, which you might expect from the majority of degrees in the UK taught by semesters, right? But not with our postgraduate business courses. So we teach it in blocks, and each block is 6 weeks. So on the MSc marketing, which I did, there was 4 taught blocks or 4 taught units. Each unit was 6 weeks, and you're assessed in week 3 and week 6. So you're assessed twice per block. So you've got 4 taught units, you assess twice per unit or per block, and then you do a final research or practice-based project lasting 12 weeks. It's a bit longer, and that gives you the full masters at the end of it. Now, I chose to do the dissertation because I wanted to do an independent practical project by myself. That's what I chose to do. But there were other assessments on the course where actually we were working in groups. So it's quite a diverse cohort of students. I was working with somebody from China, somebody from South Asia, I think Pakistan, somebody from Nigeria, and somebody I think from South Korea, I think. So it was and obviously me being the British man in the group. So again, it just shows the diversity of the class and the group that I was in. But yeah, what you can do is on any course, including the course that I did, you can choose. You can do a dissertation, which I chose, or you can choose at the end of the course a business live project, which I think you were alluding to earlier in what you were saying about your chance to actually resolve a real case study or a real business problem, which is precisely what you would do with our degree as well. So on that final project, you could be working with a group of students in a team to resolve a real business issue. So that's your live project. It's actually happening, and you're there working with the business school, your supervisors, to ensure you can actually successfully resolve the issue, and then write up your report, and that's what you send in for your masters, for your to get your grades on the course.
Exactly. That's very good. And by the way, just let me say hello here for a few guests. So we do have Vincenzo. Vincenzo, very nice to see you. So please feel free to ask any questions. We also have here King Football. We also have Diogo Santos, Bianca. So thank you very much, guys. And if you want to write your question, feel free. Leah is still on that sort of work opportunities, internships. Is that still possible as well for international students, even though during the undergrad and masters? So
yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, the thing is, with our undergraduate students, the degrees are 3 years full time. There is something called a professional practice year, but historically, it's only been available to UK and EU students. for reasons I can't really talk about here. It's just the way it's been with us. But I think we are going to be looking at changing that in the future. So that's something to watch out for in the future, is having that placement year available to overseas students. We don't really see that being a big problem at all, just from my policy perspective. So that's something that we are looking into doing. When it comes to master's students, again, there is a 1 year or 2 year degree, which they could do with either data analytics in the business school or 2 year degree with project management in the computing school. So they are 2 year taught degrees without a placement, but what we do try and encourage our students to do is to take part in any kind of voluntary work, work outside their studies, extracurricular activities. So if the students do talk to their tutor on their course, they can be able to get some insight and they can help them find work. We've also got a career service as well, which are based in person in Luton and Bedford. And what they do is they help students find work locally. And they also do these short little employability units as well. So they can do a short course alongside the main course to develop their employability skills as well. So that gives them a bit actually like a little add-on to their CV. So I think what I'm trying to say is that the university really prides itself on employability. That's at the heart of our cause at the university, and our career service do a really good job in helping them find work, in helping them with their CV, developing their CV, improving it, doing mock interviews as well to help them if they're looking for a job. And everyone gets nervous in a job interview, even I do, and it's not the most easiest thing in the world, but the career service helps students with mock interviews and give them some sessions, some feedback, so helping them to improve as well. So we try our hardest to ensure we give our own students the best possible chance to hopefully find some work that's relevant to their course, or or any work really, because they can work 20 hours a week as per the terms of the student visa during term time, or 40 hours outside term time. So we do our best to try and get them some work that's relevant to their course.
Fantastic. You mentioned one specific point, which is sometimes is not in the radar of many students, especially in Brazil, but you mentioned about the career department, and the career fairs. And I remember my time, how important, how good it was to give us, better chances. For those who doesn't know, but I lived in the UK for over 8 years, and those experiences really helped me. It's quite important as well to be aware that, how to build your CV, how to behave in such an interview. We do have differences between Brazil and the UK, and obviously that sort of infrastructure is always helpful earlier.
Indeed, absolutely. Yeah, it really is, because the more they can get out of their degree, and obviously any kind of work experience opportunities, helping them improve their CV and so on, when they come out of their degree and they're looking for work, whether they use the advantage of the 2 year graduate visa in the UK or they return back to Brazil as a graduate, they are going to be a lot more confident when they are looking for work. They'll be able to network a lot better. They'll be stronger communicators. They'll be really ready for their first job. And that's what we do here at the University of Bedfordshire, is to really help them to ensure that they are ready for their first job.
And one key tip, that don't wait. When you enroll in your course, you start, the first weeks, try to engage, try already to, be familiar with the opportunities, because sometimes, we do have students, I'll wait and start to look after that in second semester or in my... Sorry, it's not going to work. You need to engage as soon as possible.
They have to be proactive. Yeah, absolutely. Right from the first week, right from into freshers week, even master students, they can go to those events as well. They can engage with our students' union. They can join clubs, societies, create their own. It'd be great if somebody maybe could create a Brazilian society for us, or something, something different, something unique. But that comes from the students themselves. That's their responsibility, but it's their time, it's their tuition fees they pay to us. So give it all you've got.
Exactly.
So,
and by the way, I would add one, special aspect why students also should choose the UK. Obviously, you are in Europe, very easy access to many countries, and if with some money, you can pay very cheap. But also,
granted,
you mentioned the clubs and societies. Can you explain? Because that's the thing. Obviously, some destinations we also have clubs and societies, but in the UK, it's very active. It's very
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, because we have a sports teams. We have actually quite a few different sports teams: tennis, rugby, cricket, football, all sorts of different teams, and they take part in the local university league, if you like. So it's like a varsity league where they would take part in different universities. Hertfordshire, for example, is one of our neighbouring universities, so they might play against them, different tournaments or different competitions, different games, and that's really exciting because it gets them out of the classroom, out of their accommodation block, and actually getting active, and that's really important for their mental health as well. Actually, so that's really good for the student. And not only that, though, if they're not really sporty, well, that's fine. They can join some academic societies, which we do have on campus, either within the schools or the faculties themselves, or different societies within the students' union. So it could be a hobby or an interest, different themes, and so on. And every year our students' union has got some money which they can provide to students that want to set up a bespoke society or a different club or whatever. Something different for the student. And not only that, I mean, aside from that, we've also got the university's own radio station. So it's called Radio Lab. I actually used to host my own show here as well. I've got a bit of an interest in rock music. So I did that for about a year and a half. I don't do it now, but I did do it a few years ago. That was good. But it is run by students. Not only the ones doing a media course, because we've got courses in media production, TV, radio production, and so on. And it's obviously for those students to build their experiences on the practical work of editing, producing, and so on. But anyone can host. If you're doing a degree in biomedical science at Bedfordshire, but you've got an interest in presenting a radio show, well, then go for it. Get involved and just do something different for your CV.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's what it's about. It's about adding extra. We call it more than more at Beds. More than a degree. That's what we've called it before, and it's about getting much more out of your studies than just doing a course. There's so much more that you can do with the UK, and that's something else that makes the UK so popular as well, so attractive. You can travel as well. We've got a great location here in Luton and so on. So yeah.
Well, very good. And the other day, as you know, I'm always in the UK, always attending the UCAS conference, visiting students. And the other day I met with a student in Scotland, and he mentioned, Leo, I didn't know, but I joined the surfing club. And we visited a few beaches in Scotland, so it was quite nice. So as you mentioned, there are so many activities, and that's what I would recommend.
The list goes on. The list is just massive. Yeah, just so much you can do. Yeah,
exactly. You also mentioned about 2 campuses. What are the main campuses? How far from London? What's the location, infrastructure, and also what are the main departments, big courses at the University of Bedfordshire? What is different for you guys?
Sure. So we have 2 main campuses in the UK. Luton campus and Bedford campus. So for any international students interested in going to Bedfordshire, University of Bedfordshire, then it'll be Luton or Bedford. We're quite a young university. So we are 17 years old this year. So officially, we started in 2006. So the Luton campus, where I'm based right now in the international office, before 2006, it was called the University of Luton. So it was different. It was just the one university, that was it, the one campus only. And then Bedford campus, as we know it today, was owned by somebody else, a different university, up until 2006. And then we bought it out, and it became the University of Bedfordshire Bedford campus. So yeah, we're a very young university, where we are a modern university offering practically driven courses with employability at the heart of what we do here at the university. So we're not a Russell Group university, no. We're not a research intensive university, no. We don't do courses like politics and things like that, not that kind of university at all. Mathematics, physics, we're not that kind of university, but our courses are practically driven. So in terms of the faculties that are popular with us, and the business school is hugely popular with our international students that we recruit every year, and the School of Computer Science and Technology as well. So for me, those are very popular. The courses we offer, there's a really nice blend of accounting programs, economics and finance, aviation, airport management, business management and marketing, events management, international tourism and hospitality management as well. And those have got 2 intakes per year, so September and January mostly. And what's also quite good about that undergrad portfolio, we've got courses with accreditations. So, for example, ACCA with our BA in accounting and the BSc in accounting and finance. And we've also got the CIM status with the BSc in marketing as well. So we do get those accreditations there with the undergrad. The postgrad, we have 6 intakes per year, which makes us very unique in the UK.
That's fantastic.
I don't think any. I don't. Yes. Yeah, exactly. I don't think any university in the UK would tell you that apart from us. So the first intake is every September. Number 2 is November. Number 3 is January. Number 4 is March. Number 5 is June, and number 6 is July. We are closed now. Next intake is September, but that is basically how we structure those courses. So in the business school, computer science, engineering programs, there's 6 intakes a year, and the programs themselves, it's very diverse. So you've got MSc in accounting and business finance. You've got the MBA portfolio, the 1-year course or 2 years with data analytics. The 1 year you can do a generic MBA, or you could do MBA but specialize in finance, or specialize in oil and gas management, or you can specialize in digital technology management, or specialize in marketing, specialize in hospital and health services management as well. So depending on your background, we have an MBA for all students really, and then in computer science by itself, MSc, software engineering and applications, automotive engineering, mechanical engineering, they're all there. Cybersecurity is there as well. And again, 6 intakes a year. So we've got all these exciting programs available with a very flexible offer for the students too. And then what's also becoming more popular nowadays is the study of life sciences at Bedfordshire. So we are getting a lot more students applying for our courses, the undergrad courses in biomedical science and biological sciences, food and nutrition science, pharmacology and health sciences, chemical sciences, pharmaceutical sciences. Those kind of degrees are becoming more popular as well, and we have 2 intakes per year for those undergrad. And the masters, we do biotechnology as a 1-year degree, or 2 years with project management or with data analytics. And then we also offer pharmacology as well, 1 year or 2 years with data analytics or with project management. And then we offer MSc Public Health, MSc Food Security and Public Health, MSc Microbiology and Public Health as well. And then we also offer MSc in Environmental Management. And I think the study of the environment is quite popular in Brazil. Obviously, you've got the Amazon rainforest there and the conservation projects, and the idea of studying conservation, I think, is very important. So we offer something like that on our environmental management MSc as well. Again, 2 intakes per year for that course too. So I think for me, those are the key faculties at the University of Bedfordshire that are popular with our international students. But what makes us really popular again is our location. The courses that I've just mentioned are all in Luton campus. So Luton campus is less than 30 minutes away from Central London by fast train. So that is a very good location for our students. It ensures that we've got the attraction of London on our doorstep, but they're not paying London fees for accommodation and tuition. They're paying Bedfordshire fees, which are far more affordable. So for me, the standard profile of a student from Brazil for Bedfordshire would be somebody who wants to be near London, but unfortunately they can't afford London. So they want to be somewhere near London, somewhere close, somewhere very close. Well, that's us at the Luton campus. The tuition fees are going to be £14,500 per year for our undergrad studies from September, and £14,600 for the total fees for the 1 year taught masters, and then £15,900 for the 1 year MBA as well. And that's really good tuition, and our accommodation is also on campus as well, where at the moment we're charging £116 per week from at the moment for our current accommodation prices. All bills included, free Wi-Fi, 24/7 security, safety, convenience as well. It's literally on campus there in Luton, and obviously in Bedford as well. We've got both sides have got accommodation too. But the popular programs are in Luton. In Bedford campus, we do offer courses in sports science, education, teaching, linguistics, performing arts. We've got outdoor sports fields, a larger gym. We've got a library as well in both campuses, Luton, Bedford, 24/7 library. The Bedford campus is quite a bit different, as is Bedford itself. It's more of a English market town as opposed to Luton, where it's far more international. The community in Luton is very multicultural. You get less diversity in Bedford, but still very high quality courses too in Bedford in those subject areas.
Fantastic. Liam, we do have a few guests, as I said, and it's quite good that you mentioned about computer science and how strong it is in the university. Vincenzo is one of our followers here, and actually has attended one of our events last year. Really interested in computer science and obviously the possibilities for internship. I think one of the key points, and especially for everybody listening to us, is these new scheme from government, the post-study visa, because that gives possibility to stay, work over 2 years. And for you guys, it was not like that, a year and a half ago. So from now, either undergrad and master students can stay in the UK for 2 years to get some work experience. If you are doing a PhD, then that could reach 4 years. Correct, Liam? I believe
that's correct.
A great opportunity for
It really is. Absolutely. I couldn't be any more sort of clearer than that. It's an amazing opportunity for international students. When it was announced back in, I think, the autumn of 2019, I think every university in the UK got a real sudden increase in applications, because this is what international students want. They obviously want to study in the UK, obviously, but they're also looking for what's next. What's next for my career? What's next for my opportunities? To earn some money, develop my CV, and so on. In my career, and this 2 year visa is excellent for the students. For an undergraduate student, that's 5 years in the UK, 3 years study, 2 years post-study work visa. And then some of the students, well, they've got other plans. They've got long-term plans. They want to, get sponsored by their employer. They can switch visas to a work visa within that 2 year graduate visa time period, right? And therefore they're sponsored. They can stay there for a lot longer. Some even get a passport, get British citizenship, and they get a family here and all sorts. So it really just depends on what they want, But I think this 2 year graduate visa is an excellent chance for them to really excel and gain confidence in their career plans in the future. Yeah,
absolutely. It's always important to state that it's not your right. You need to gather a lot of information. You need to adapt. You need to follow the rules. You need to bring a lot to the community, paying your taxes. So obviously there are some demands as well in order for you to get and follow all these possibilities. Just answering a few questions here, which I believe is quite important. We do have a question from Ana Ferreira. And obviously I can help a little bit, but it would be good to hear from you. She's asking if there is any opportunity to work and obviously pay all living costs and also the tuition fees, if that is possible. And obviously, if there is any loan scheme for international students, I'll take the first one, and then I'll leave the loan scheme if you know anything nowadays. Anna, first of all, thank you very much. To help you, obviously, every city in the UK has a different living cost. Obviously, London is more expensive. But you are allowed to work 20 hours a week. That gives you some possibility to minimize your living costs. Obviously, your salary, you might be able to cover your full living costs, but it depends on the wage. Minimum wage in the UK, obviously, is quite good, but it's not possible for full living costs. We need to ensure that you have some funding in order to attend, engage, because that might be an initial challenge if you have not planned well your finances.
Yeah, exactly.
Loan for international students in Brazil, I'm not aware about any, but there are some international companies growing and offering some loans. But believe you need to pay it back. Some companies will take 5, 10, 15 years, so you need to be aware, and also again, some planning. Leah, are you aware about any company or any policy at the moment?
Well, I know Amazon are everywhere. Quite a lot of our students locally would work at Amazon. Amazon got warehouses all over the place. I mean, again, I know there's a lot of multinational or international companies in the UK. They could advertise students to work, but I have no idea what kind of jobs they are. But I do know in the area of Luton and Bedfordshire, there are a lot of companies that would advertise, and we have the career service that have got those connections with those companies. And they will be able to actually help them find work. They also host these graduate fairs across the year. So for students that are going to be graduating soon, they actually invite local companies or businesses to come to the university to actually advertise their jobs. So they would, ask for CVs, or they'd be advertising lots of employment opportunities for students. And that's really good because that's our career service engaging with those companies, and they want students to join their firms for various jobs. So I can't be specific, but what I can say is that we do have the career service that does help students with their future goals, because once they graduate, they're an alumni forever. They're there with us. This is a life service at the career service for students. Some universities was 2 or 3 years later, that's it, goodbye, off you go. But not with the University of Bedfordshire. We actually still keep them on our books as alumni, as a lifelong service. So we do try our best to ensure that we're giving students work during their degree and after they've graduated as well. In case they do need some support, we can give them that as well.
Fantastic. Anna, by the way, most British universities offer scholarships. Normally, they are partial scholarships based on merit or nationality or any department with very specific requirements. So please do get in contact with us, so might be able to help you. But one thing to be aware as well, British government has a scheme called Chivney, a big scholarship.
Yep.
So that might be the best possible scholarship because they cover tuition fees, living costs, and also, it's very competitive. Might be opportunity.
Yeah, it is. That's right.
More question from Adrian Hick. He's asking about sports science. I'm well aware about the quality of sports science at the University of Bedfordshire. Any particular tip or feature that you'd like to highlight? Thank you, Adrian.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, fantastic. Is he looking for an undergraduate course or postgraduate course?
He didn't mention,
Or is it
but
general?
he's
Okay.
also asking about scholarship. So we'll see.
Oh, good. I'll answer that in two parts then. So the first part about sports science. So first of all, the location, Bedford campus, about 40 minutes north of London. So that's where we are. The campus is all geared around sports science and research. So the degrees, for example, the undergrad, the BSc in sport and exercise science, has got the BASRAT professional status. So that is the Association for Sports Science Research in the UK. So this is a professional body. What that means is the course has been professionally accredited. So students like that, graduates, would go on to do further research in academia, or they would go into, sports science consultancy, maybe become a personal trainer, or they could work as a coach for a different team or something. They can maybe work in, we do degrees in BSc sport therapy and rehabilitation as well. So that's very much geared around sport therapy, and if you want to become like a sport therapist, or perhaps join a sports team as a physiotherapist or something like that, like a sports physio, that'd be ideal. We do degrees in strength and conditioning as well, sport coaching, sport business, football business, those kind of degrees. So they're all on the website to have a look at, but there is a very diverse range of programs there, and we've got these state-of-the-art research labs at the Bedford campus, and there's a lot of work going on with our students conducting basically experiments where they're looking at the biological aspects of exercise. It's looking at the benefits of exercise on the human body, and they're doing lots of motion analysis, soft research, using our downhill running treadmills, using our underwater weighing tank, for example. We've got all these different facilities at Bedford campus which they can use for a range of programs, and it's quite a small campus, so everyone knows each other. It's like a small village, right? It's not a massive campus, but if you're living on campus at the accommodation and you're studying there, you get to know everyone. And the tutoring is first class. The tutors there have been teaching there for years. Some of the staff have worked there for a long, long time, so they are the experts in their field, and they really, really are. So, and we offer a few masters as well. So within clinical exercise physiology, sport, leadership and management, executive leadership as well was all based there. So it goes into like business fields, but it's all based around sport management as well, and physiology. So those are our programs, masters in sport at Bedford. But that's really what the Bedford campus has been known for, is sport and education, teaching as well. But the real emphasis is on sport. We've got the outdoor sports fields there. We even offer sports scholarships to current students. So once they've started their course at the university, they apply for a separate scholarship scheme, which, based on their ability, they could get a nice bit of money there. I think it's at least £1,000, if not more than that, based on their coaching ability or their own ability, their sport that they're playing as a professional, or depending on their class. So yeah, they can apply once they're here as a student. So in the application process, it's different. Once they're here, they can apply for a sports scholarship as well.
It's always good to mention, Liam.
That's the first part.
It's always good to mention that in the UK, when we say sports scholarship, normally is linked with a number of services. So it's the amount of money, translated in services to the student, and not money or any discount in tuition most of the time. So we need to be very clear on that. But Adrian was also interested in undergrad, so you have answered quite well. Leah, we are coming to the end, so two more questions. It would be good to know the experience of any Brazilian student at the university. Can you highlight any, if you remember?
Absolutely. When I was on mean, just generally, when I was on my MSc marketing course a few years ago, there was actually a Brazilian student on that course as well. So she was interested in a career in marketing. She's gone on now to, have a good career in marketing. She enjoyed the units. Her experience is good. She's in a postgraduate center in the modern classrooms and really enjoyed her time working together in teams, building her teamwork skills in the course. We've also had another colleague who's actually working now at the university, and she did her MSc in digital marketing. And what she's even talked to me about it recently, where it's actually helped to improve her academic and her interpersonal skills. I think when she was coming over from Brazil for the first time, she was a bit nervous about the English or British culture, because obviously it's a bit different than from Brazil. But I think when she came over, she felt very settled studying at the University of Bedfordshire, that we played a huge role in helping her and her journey easier and more exciting. So I think she's had a really good time here at the university to help her with her own development. She's currently working here, building her administration and developing her confidence, building skills, all that sort of thing, to hopefully go on to have a future career in more of a marketing role. But no, she's really enjoyed her time here. And I think, as long as a university can help someone settle into the culture and into the country, and to help any questions, have all them answered in sessions and so on, that really, really helps. So yeah, we've had a couple of students I can talk about here that have really, we've really made a difference to their future.
Very good. Leah, any particular tip for those wishing to study in the UK and particularly at the University of Bedfordshire this coming take September 23?
Yeah. Yes, it is. Absolutely. So our next intake is September 2023. Tips really, make sure that you do your research. The kind of students we're looking for is for somebody who wants to live near to London, but they can't afford London fees, tuition fees or accommodation fees. We offer very affordable accommodation at our Luton campus. We also offer scholarship as well. So it's important for students to research scholarships. Now, Bedfordshire, because our tuition fees are quite affordable, our scholarship is up to £1,500 for all new international students. So that's for all undergraduate and postgraduate students for their first year only.
Let's repeat that. Sorry, Leah. So it's £1,500
up to £1,500. Yes,
for international students. And if the student is for undergrad, so 1,500 over 3 years.
Yeah, so basically they get £1,000. That's our Vice Chancellor's international scholarship. That's taken off their fees for the first year, but they don't get it for their second or third year, only for the first year.
Wow.
For postgraduate students, they get £1,000 as well, but they get an extra £500 discount if they pay their full fees up front as their prepayment or by registration. So they pay full fees for their CAS and for the visa, or they pay the rest of their full fees at registration. They'll get an extra £500 discount or like a refund back to their account. So that's why we do say up to £1,500 scholarship in total from the university. So if you've got anyone here, they want to pay full fees for an undergrad course in September with us, if they pay £13,000, that's it paid, because we're taking off £1,500 from the £14,500 total tuition fee for the year, because the minimum deposit is 65%, and that's what we ask for the CAS. But to pay full fees up front, we give them an extra £500 discount as well. So really, the advice is research your course, make sure the course is aligned to your future career plans, research opportunities for scholarship, location, and so on. But I think the University of Bedfordshire will hopefully give you lots of benefits coming here to study with us.
Yeah. Just to clarify, you mentioned about CAS. So just to everyone be aware, CAS means confirmation of acceptance for studies. That is the main letter for you to obtain your visa, and that is issued by each university. As you know, Grade Up has great expertise for student UK visa, so we are here to help you. So any doubt, please do get in contact with our counselors as well. Liam, it was a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Leo.
So fast, obviously, so many questions to answer. But what I'd like to reinforce is, please do get in contact with Grade Up. We've been helping Brazilian students over the last 10 years for different courses, different programs, different parts in the UK. So it's always a pleasure to ensure you are in the correct and most cost-benefit pathway. To be aware, Leah will be with us in Brazil attending a few university fairs. The first one on 11th of March in São Paulo at Salão de Estudante. And then 2 other fairs in Rio as well, Salão de Estudante. And will be with us in Curitiba on the 16th and 17th of March. So, yes, that's a great opportunity to meet Leah and also ensure that you are applying according to all requirements. Leah,
Indeed.
thank you very much. Leave your last message.
Thank you, Leo. All the very best to you, and I look forward to seeing you all in Brazil next month, in Sao Paulo, Rio de Janeiro, and Curitiba as well. It's going to be great. Looking forward to it. Thank you ever so much.
Fantastic. The next Grade Up talk is on 28th of February. And we do have a great university coming, attending, and also explaining great opportunities for you guys. Thank you very much. See you soon.
Take care. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Eu sempre quis fazer estudar fora em algum momento, fazer um intercâmbio, algo assim. Nunca pensei em fazer a graduação inteira fora, nunca pensei em passar tanto tempo fora quanto acabei passando. O que realmente me deu essa visão de que era uma realidade, não era só um sonho, foi um evento da Grade Up.
Eles me apresentaram todas essas possibilidades de várias universidades, eles me deram várias oportunidades assim, de conhecer diferentes universidades.
É uma coisa mesmo para se preocupar, realmente é isso. Ele te libera para poder se preocupar com as coisas boas mesmo, né? Com as coisas que realmente importam.
Eu sempre recomendo a Grade Up, eu acho que eles conhecerem como é lá fora, não só na teoria aqui, é bem diferente e as opções que eles apresentam pra gente são muitas também, o conhecimento que eles têm é enorme, então eu recomendaria 100%.
Nosso grande foco desde o dia número 1 aqui da empresa foi ensino superior. A gente vende aqui tempo, a gente vende o nosso expertise e as decisões dos alunos, das famílias são importantes. O nosso DNA realmente ele preza muito por isso, pela questão personalizada, pela individualidade, pelo nome das pessoas. O aluno, a família, realmente ela está no centro aqui de todas as atividades. Ao mesmo tempo a gente está falando de educação, então isso está atrelado ao sonho e assim como eu tive, eu quero trazer o que há de melhor. Então nesse trabalho durante esses últimos 10 anos foi isso que nos trouxe até aqui. Em 10 anos muita coisa mudou, contudo o comprometimento e dedicação da Grade Up continuam os mesmos. Nosso alto índice de aceitação nas principais universidades do mundo só é possível graças ao trabalho de profissionais altamente qualificados que atendem cada aluno de forma personalizada. Para nós, estudantes não são meros números, eles têm nome, sonhos e anseios. Em 10 anos de existência, cada estudante que entra pela nossa porta passa a fazer parte da nossa história. Trilhamos juntos os caminhos que levam ao exterior. Afinal de contas, sonho que se sonha só é só sonho. Mas sonho que se sonha junto é realidade, por mais décadas como os últimos 10 anos.